Hi, ladies. Okay, these are the answers to homework number 5. That was the questions on Persia and Cyrus the Great. The book on page 196 calls him Cyrus the Empire Builder. So let's see here. The first question was, the Persians are the ancestors of which modern-day country? And right there on page 196 near the top, actually, I'll read right from the book. The Persians, the ancestors of today's Iranian people. So the question is answered by the ancestors of Iran. They are the ancestors of Iran. Ladies, you should have your homework 5 answers in front of you. You should have your textbook in front of you. If you don't, stop the video now and grab it so that you can follow along with these correct answers, because these are going to be the answers that I'm looking at for the quiz. So question number 2. Question number 2 was, how large was the Persian Empire in comparison to the United States? And also right there on page 196, it says it was as large as the 48 joined states of the United States. And so basically we're just talking about, you know, roughly how big the United States is. And so the Persian Empire was as big as the United States is, from the East Coast all the way from Maine down to Florida to the West Coast, California and Washington. So pretty big piece of land, pretty nice sized chunk of land. Number 3, using the cardinal directions, what were the 4 geographical boundaries of the Persian Empire? I'm not gonna lie, this one gave many of you a lot of trouble because you were reading the question wrong. The question says using the cardinal directions. Not asking you for the cardinal directions. We all know that that's north, south, east, and west. What we're using is, what were the boundaries? What were the geographical boundaries? North, south, east, and west. And right there in the book, as well as page 196, it stretched from Eastern Europe and Northern Africa in the west to India in the east. And then it went from the Gulf of Oman in the south to the Caucasus Mountains in the north. And so that was the one that gave a lot of you trouble. Those are the 4 geographical boundaries. Number 4, describe the Cyrus the Great, and I even asked in parentheses, birth, family, dates of rule, and places conquered. And so I'm going to summarize, I'm going to use someone's answer here. Cyrus the Great was born around 590 BC, and he was the son of a noble Persian family. Good. He ruled Ashan from 559 BC, and in about 550 BC he conquered the king of Medes, and he made Media the center of what would become the Persian Empire. That'll do. Question number 5. Explain 3 reasons why the Persian army was so powerful. As a matter of fact, right on page 197, let me look here. First off, he was a skilled military leader, and so I would take that as a reason. Another reason was that it was a huge standing army. We talked about how valuable a standing army is as opposed to one that you have to call together at the last moment. So that's 2. So its size and its advanced weapons overwhelmed Persia's enemies. You could have also talked about the fact that they used bronze helmets and shields. They were well protected, and so it helped them in combat. They had an infantry, they had cavalry. So those right there are more than 3 reasons. I'm just looking for 3, but choose any of those 3 because all of those made Persia's army so powerful. Number 6, describe Cyrus as a ruler and give an example to support your description. So as a ruler, not as a military leader. We know how rough he was as a military leader because, as you read, he won battle after battle after battle. What we're talking about here is as a leader, as a ruler. Give an example to support your description. Now, in the textbook on page 197, although Cyrus created the Persian Empire by force, he was a somewhat fair ruler. He treated the people he conquered with understanding and respect. And it asks for an example to support your description. A little bit farther down, for example, he allowed the Jews who had been exiled to Babylonia to return to their homeland, and he even encouraged them to rebuild their temple. If you remember back in the section on ancient Israel, we talked about the time during the diaspora when the Jews were sent, they were banished, they were sent out from their homeland. And so Cyrus was a very fair ruler, kind of different as a military leader. Number 7, how and when did Cyrus die? He died in a battle in Central Asia in 530 BC. And I don't need any more details than that. That'll suffice. And finally, number 8. In his decree, after conquering Babylon, which individual rights did Cyrus bestow upon his conquered people? And so you needed to look on page 197 on the right-hand side. There's an entire passage about the democratic values that Cyrus used and implemented in his empire. He listed his goals. As a matter of fact, he established the seat of government in the royal palace, and he lifted the Babylonians' unbecoming yoke. So he took away a lot of their burdens, and he restored their dwelling pieces. As a matter of fact, I lifted their unbecoming yokes, their burdens, their dilapidated, fallen to pieces dwellings I restored. So he allowed them to rebuild their city, especially their temples, their places of worship. And so that shows what a fair and just ruler he was. So that's the answers to homework number 5. The next video we'll go over homework number 6. Thanks.